Good thing for Malfunction and their fans, that did not happen. As we now go into the second match of the day, it's Strefan versus Sp4ghet.
Indeed, we have Strefan versus Sp4ghet. I mean, looking at the past performances, Strefan really had a rough week. Last week and the week before. He had a very long winning streak as well. So I don't know, let's see. I mean, this last game was a win. Also against the Japanese player Kent. Now facing the other Japanese player Sp4ghet. And this is where they are on the leaderboard. Again, very hard to make a prediction here on this matchup, Strefan versus Sp4ghet.
They've both been able to take down very competent opponents during this tournament thus far. So now, let's wait no longer. Let's get straight into it. Match number 1 is underway. Or I should say round number 1 is underway between the two. And as you can see, the cars are rolling down the street. We are playing Move.
Indeed. And yeah, looks like we are in Australia again with the double whites driving on the left. Kind of hilly, so I think they are both in the hills of Adelaide. Strefan is, scanning around there looking for a lineup possibly.
Does Sp4ghet have the lake here? They spawned very close to water. I'm not sure if maybe he's found something here. He's very committed at least to the Warren Reservoir Reserve, it seems like. Has the turn there as well now, going back to it. Could be a 5k in the making, but I'm liking the guess from Strefan as well, a little bit further down the street. And it is going to be Sp4ghet on point with it. 3 meters off, first 5k of the day.
Love to see that. Yeah, he was a little bit more precise there, and he moved around, double checking the curves afterwards as well.
A 4.5k.
Really happy to confirm it. But yeah. Pretty much. That's how you can call it.
That should have been a 10k. I feel like had Strefan had just 2-3 more seconds to line up the angle there, he would have opted to jump up to Sp4ghet as well. But what a great round nonetheless. Them practically sat on top of one another. As we head into round number 2, beautiful mountainous landscape here.
Indeed, we should be somewhere in the Alps in Italy. Given the language, given the looks, the architecture. We have actually a lot of town signs, but those are all very small towns. You can judge by the distances. If you know a town is just 1 kilometer away or 2 kilometers, it's usually not a big town. But still not the biggest area where you have to scan. If you go along the Alps of Italy.
Strefan looking, trying to see if he can find the city proper. Not able to do so. It's a bit off towards the east, but still gonna be closer. He had a phone number there. I'm not sure, does the phone, like, you have area codes and the phone numbers the same way that do in the US and other places when it comes to Italy?
You do. It's a bit easier in Italy. It's also lined up pretty well. It goes from north to south. But guessing within the Alps, I don't think the area codes help that much.
Ooh, a lot of info available here. Both the state outline, the double road indicators as well. This one should be very doable for both of them.
Indeed. We have a county sign with a letter, which is a Minnesota thing. I know that because I missed that when I was playing my EMEAs. Did I say Minnesota?
Yeah,
I meant
it's
Wisconsin.
Just on the border of...
I meant Wisconsin.
Yeah, exactly. Just on the border. Sp4ghet won it. I mean, if he thought he had it quickly, instantly sent it, but Strefan using those extra 15 seconds very wisely, able to get almost on the dot, turning the one around here. Now set almost 2,000 or 3,000, I should say, points ahead.
Indeed, and both players not really moving here because we actually had a lot of info given. However, didn't seem to be that useful, and now both players move. One player goes towards the south, one player went towards the north. Which direction will be better? For now it seems like Strefan is on the main road, which I do like better. However, Strefan is also on a major road.
Yeah, they're looking pretty good, both of them right now.
Yeah, they both did end up here.
Plenty of signs available, but a lot of it of course being storefronts and signs to small local areas. They're both in and around the same city now, though. Strefan opting to actually hop into the city proper, too. They're both there. Should have been a bit further west, but minimal damage will come through here in round number 4. Just 60.
both ending up around Saguenay in Quebec. We do move over to round 5. Let's see what we have here. And we are actually back again in Australia. Mountainous and red Google car is interesting. Those poles look like Western Australia though. Yes, we should be in Western Australia. We call it WA.
Wow.
In the geolingo. But I've heard that none of the Australians say VA. They say WA. For them, it sounds weird whenever we say VA.
I mean, which I can
so
completely understand.
Yeah. So I guess I'm just gonna say Western Australia and keep it long and
I guess
clear.
it's like calling USA just USA. That'd
Yeah,
also
probably.
be kind of weird.
Probably.
Yeah, calling it USA. But, well, Sp4ghet opting to go down towards Perth. They're both in and around there, with Strefan a bit further towards the south. You were right, at least in the assumption that they were going to go towards WA as well. Here they are. Sp4ghet this time, though, quite a bit closer to the target than Strefan, so scores should be almost lined up now. It is 900 points separating the two.
Yeah, great region guess there from Sp4ghet. Not the easiest job, especially in Western Australia, along the mountain range in the west. We do move over. We had a state flag. Which one is that? A little bit more information. We have a lot of signs. I think we should be in Malaysia. And we also had a state flag. I forgot which one that was. Don't think it was the Sarawak one.
I can hear that you're thinking, so I'm just gonna let you think. And that
No, I
one
don't
is-
think I'm getting there.
No,
because
fair enough. Fair
I
enough.
also couldn't really get a good look on it. I only saw the colors.
It's fair. It's fair enough. 10 seconds to go. I mean, with these two not guessing either, goes to show that they're truly thinking, trying to figure out what it is as well. But they're both in and around the northern side of Kuala Lumpur. We'll see who's going to come out victorious here. Timer runs all the way down to 0, and it's going to be Strefan. On the correct road as well. 2.4 kilometers out. Damage won't be too high, but incredible guess nonetheless.
Yes. Now, I know it was the Selangor, like the red and yellow.
I thought it was the Spanish flag, so you're good.
Yeah, I mean, if you see Spanish flags in Malaysia, now you know you should guess in Selangor. Same colors.
Good to
know,
know.
good
Good
to
to know. Round number 7 upon us. We're out in the open. What are you? What are you thinking here, Tilotris?
Yes, we are in Russia. We have the white Google car, which rules down a couple areas in Russia. Usually when it's flat like this, you're either south of Chelyabinsk or very far east around Khabarovsk. I can't tell you the distance out of my head. Might be 2,000 kilometers of each other, those two regions. But with the slide hills, I think we are more likely to be south of Chelyabinsk, where they both end up now with their pins. Scanning.
2 seconds left to work with. Let's see how this one is going to pan on out. Timer once again all the way down to 0 before the commitment went through. And they're both going to be almost equal distance to the target. 30 kilometers separating the two. As, well, Strefan able to extend his lead, at least by a little bit. 1,500 points now ahead, coming into round number 8. As we get back to Japan, it seems like maybe Sp4ghet having the upper hand here.
Definitely. Especially in Japan, you see a lot of information. So if you know how to read the language, or the script, I should say, the script is really what you need to know. It is given a lot here and there on almost every sign, and as you can see, Sp4ghet is checking everything he can, where Strefan is really trying to move out of this field, maybe trying to get more information.
I was gonna say, Strefan instantly looked at one of the antennas. I haven't really seen, or poles, I should say. I haven't really seen Sp4ghet. Now he starts looking at one. But curious to me that he gives Spaghetti this much time in his home country. You'd think that Strefan, once he sees the antenna, once he has the region, you'd want to get a quick guess in to not get Spaghetti more time. But now they're there pretty much on top of one another. Once again, they're so even in their guesses right now. Let's see if they're going to be close. They are both going to be incredibly close to the target. But a bit surprised here that Strefan opted to give Spaghetti this much time.
Yeah, I mean, starting off, you had those poles on spawn, so you would just assume that your opponent, in this case Spaghetti, also has that information and will end up in the same area anyway.
Yeah.
So you might as well just try to luckily get to better information by moving a bit more.
Well, round number 9. Spaghetti
really
needs to catch up to Strefan. Wants to get that done with now before coming into round 10, and this could be a big country to do so in.
Yes, we are back in Russia by the looks. I would say we have this fall coverage, which you see also in a couple places, in more places than the white car. Most of it is south of Moscow. With the vegetation, I feel like we are maybe even further south. A lot of these poplar trees, I don't see any birches. So I guess we could be a bit further south in the country.
5 seconds
Now, especially
left.
on Strefan's panel, I think we are hugging Kazakhstan. But
See, Strefan able to get the guess through. Both gonna be equal distance to the target once again, but importantly for Strefan, hand on his head, you can tell, wanting to make sure that he maintains the lead, because that could have been big had Spaghetti been closer. Not quite the case. Now, round 10, one last chance for Spaghetti to try and claim the moving game.
Round 10 indeed, we are in Uruguay. We have a grid check from Spaghetti. So now for those out there wondering, why is he looking down the road? What is he gonna see on the road? He's not looking at the road, he is lining up the road with the compass to the north, so you know what the alignment of the road is.
Yep.
And the cities in Uruguay are built on grids. So you can theoretically check every city and look which city lines up
Let's
the
see
most.
if Strefan is gonna get it. He's further towards the south. It's
Spaghetti's
round 10 and
approach.
it's right in between them. Had it been further towards the north, there might be enough damage for Spaghetti to claim it, but not gonna happen. It's gonna be Strefan out victorious here in round number 10 as we head into no move.
Yes, and that's not a case of the final round where players try to
it's
go
all of our rounds
like
so
all
far.
the way north or all the way south, all the way east, all the way west. You really have to try to turn it around somehow. But Uruguay doesn't really give you the room for that.
Yeah, that's true. You need to hit big when you have a chance to in those big countries earlier on. As we now start the no move, and luckily for these two, plenty of info available early on.
Yes, it's saying Fujairah, which is a pretty big city in the southeast along the coast. Spaghetti is on it, I think. Yeah. Spaghetti is on it. Strefan also zoomed towards... No, he's actually... Ooh, did he miss that information? It's pretty big down in the south. Now, in this case, Spaghetti obviously doesn't know where Strefan is looking. Looking back to this game, Spaghetti will regret not instantly sending this, because if Strefan will find it in the end... Okay, he doesn't.
He does not. Spaghetti almost able to line up yet another 5k. Not quite gonna happen. It's gonna be a 5k -1, as Chet likes to say. As we head on in to round number 2. I do like the fact that for such a small country, they actually took their time to try and line it up.
Yes.
In round 1 as well.
Definitely. Let's move on to the next one, which is pretty interesting. It is very flat. I think we are east of the Andes in Colombia, especially with this road. There are a lot of like rainy gravel roads with those potholes. And we also have the Google car with the stubby antenna, which is confirming that it can be a possibility to be there. Not exclusive to Colombia, but it's one of the countries. But then again, we have those fences as well. Another good clue for Colombia. And yeah, with the terrain and how flat it is, no mountains inside, I assume we are somewhere east of the Andes.
Sp4ghet committing just on the south side of Bogota. We'll see if Strefan is there to follow. He's going to go high towards the north, looking potentially all the way towards Mexico right now. Not sure if he's going to go further. Nope, not going to happen. Ups to stay. And wow, yet another impressive guess coming through here from Sp4ghet.
That is a lot of points.
Yep.
Actually, a lot of points for round 2 in Colombia. Getting Strefan to almost half HP.
Incredible.
Is a lot of damage. But hey, we are only on round 3. Still a lot of rounds to play. Especially on big countries. It can turn quick. As we move over to this Brazil round. Kind of a red soil, which makes me think maybe Piauí area in the northeast. It is dry and mountainous. We have a Piauí guess from Strefan right as I was considering it. I am not sure though. Could be somewhere further east or southeast of Piauí.
Definitely
as
could.
we do see Strefan going further east. Seems like we are having the same thoughts there. But Sp4ghet also in the same rough region. Started off in Bahia.
What are they looking for here? 10 seconds left. They're not really looking too much at the road. It's the mountains in the distance. What are they zooming in and out for?
Yes. I mean, we have a ridge along the south, and I would assume they are trying to find a ridge in that region that goes along the same direction.
Well, should have stayed further down towards the south.
Yeah.
Would have been more on point, but of course, always easy with hindsight knowledge to get it through as they're both giggling, laughing. Sp4ghet shaking this one off. Knowing, again, as we said before, I mean, if it does come to those round 10s, whenever you get a chance like that to be closer than your opponent, you want to try and see if you can capitalize.
Yeah, that was a very, very hard Goyas to get, honestly. The looks looked very northeastern. Don't really know if there was anything they overlooked at. Just a hard location. And we move over to a big country, Russia. But with the winter coverage Gen 4, we should be somewhere from south of Moscow towards the Caucasus. Still a pretty big area where you can guess within.
Yeah.
We do have some birch trees, therefore I don't really like Sp4ghet's guess all the way down there, because it is very rare to see birch trees down south. And Sp4ghet is very far south, so this can actually turn the game around.
Definitely could. 8 seconds left for Sp4ghet to reconsider. Guess confirmed by Strefan here. We'll see if he's going to opt to change things up come last second. Nope. Commits further to the south. It's going to be with quite some distance. Hand to the head instantly, shaking it. It's not as lethal as it probably could have been, but definitely a round that he would have wanted to avoid.
Yep. Thing he didn't commit even further south there, but still good damage to strike back for Strefan. Now we are in New Zealand. Let's see what we have here. I would need to take a better look here to really get a region guess, because New Zealand is also a very hard country to region guess on some locations. Especially on those where you just drive to green mountains. You can see it on both the North Island and South Island. However, they are both in the north of the South Island here.
Seems like they're both, yeah, I mean, for good reason. Well, I say that now. We'll see once the once their guesses come through. Oh, Sp4ghet sat there, not feeling too comfortable with the location he's in. He's looking further north. You can see Force taking their hands off the mouse, looking into the air. But good thing that he opted to stay, because that could have been very dangerous. And he swung all the way north. So, smart on him. Stick around. As he does manage to do some more damage to Strefan. Still sat ahead. But wanting to crawl back in this one. Down 1-0.
Indeed. And this vegetation looks very Yucatan to me. In Mexico also the sandy soil, I hope. I mean, there are some places in Brazil that can look like this. That is what's scaring me right now, and maybe also the players, I don't know. But by default, I guess, even though it isn't that sandy, no, now I'm confused the longer I look at it. If I play this on blink mode, if I have 1 second to guess, I will send it to Yucatan immediately. Okay. But the longer I look at it, the more I think it is Brazil.
Interesting.
Am I overthinking it now? I'm not sure.
Both your guesses are in play. North side Brazil, Yucatan, Strefan, Sp4ghet. Who's going to commit here? Are we going to see change-ups with 5 seconds left to work with? We have 3.5 times multiplier, and Sp4ghet is moving further and further towards the east. This could very well end up being the decider, and it is going to be down towards Brazil. Should definitely be way enough damage. And that's going to be Sp4ghet tying up the score 1-1.
Yep, I don't blame Strefan at all here. That was my 50-50 as well. The first wipe was there, but I kind of had the feeling that something was off for Yucatan. I couldn't really tell what. Maybe the coverage type, something was telling me that something is off, but really not easy to tell.
So now, an NPC, no move, no pan, no zoom. All they get is this image. And the ability to put their faces closer to their monitors, I suppose, still resides within them. So we'll see where they're going to go with it. East side, Brazil this time around. We'll see if Sp4ghet's there to follow. He is. He's going to be off by a bit.
Yeah, ending up with the same guesses, giving the waves out. Interesting. Usually you don't see that little damage in Brazil.
Who do you feel comes into this round with better momentum going? Because you can see Strefan, he seems a bit frustrated with... maybe, obviously, I mean, the previous one is Sp4ghet. You gotta put that monitor closer to your face so you don't have to lean all the way over the table.
I still think Strefan has a good mental. Even though he got frustrated on the last round, I feel like he's switching up and locking in right as the next game starts. So I don't think it will be a problem for him to stay focused. So in terms of momentum, it's really hard, of course. Sp4ghet's coming out of the win and knowing that he still has the chance to win this match.
Yeah.
In this NPC game.
Montpellier.
Might give him a better momentum. But yeah.
We'll see. We have chatters from Montpellier out here representing, waving the flag to the Google car as it comes driving on by. So now going to round number 3. Sp4ghet committing early to Colombia. Seems like there's a bit of a Colombian cross there in the distance, but of course he's got 19,000 other meters he can use to put down that country.
Yep, again we have those fences, we have that sign as you mentioned, the yellow lines. Again fairly flat, so should be decent.
Wow, oh, you know what? I respect that. Sp4ghet, you saw him there for a second clapping his hands. I respect a man that gives credit to another person's good guess, because that was incredible, Strefan.
I mean, I will join Sp4ghet there with giving out credits. That is a very hard lineup, and getting the right region on the road down is very impressive. Nice find from Strefan. Definitely a great guess. See, that's a beauty of GeoGuessr. Guess doesn't need to deal a lot of damage to be impressive.
Oh yeah.
And interesting. So every round matters in those terms. Now I'm not even that sure on the country.
Sp4ghet is over in Serbia, or maybe just on the border of, but you have Strefan on the east side of Romania. Let's see what's going to be closer. It's going to be in between the two, but Strefan definitely closer to the target. 1,500 damage comes through to Sp4ghet. As again, I mean, in an NPC anything can happen. So this game is still very far from done.
Pine Forest. First wipe is Sweden for me, could be Norway. Definitely looks like the Nordics.
Yeah.
I feel like Sweden has more of this type of coverage. With this type of coverage, I mean like this wintry looks through the forests. It's more of a thing you see in Sweden rather than Norway, I feel like. But very hard to be certain here.
Commits up the coast towards the Norwegian, oh sorry, the Finnish border, but not all the way up there. And it's actually going to be down towards Stockholm. I mean, I hear it said oftentimes amongst you and other GeoGuessr experts that Sweden hard to reach in guess despite coverage, because trees and whatnot are very similar pretty much across the, not entire, but majority of the country, and Sp4ghet feeling the hurt there because of it.
Yeah. Definitely Sweden, very hard to get a region guess down, especially in forests. You mentioned the trees. As a rule of thumb, you can say if the trees aren't growing that high up, if they are like a bit lower due to the temperatures in the north, you can be more likely to be in the north. But then again, in a forest like that, where you couldn't really tell that, It's really, really hard to get a good region guess down.
Exactly. Both these, this time around, both of them looking towards Canada, but you have Strefan towards Quebec, and Sp4ghet is all the way towards Vancouver. 3.5 times multiplier. This could be incredibly costly for Sp4ghet. It could be, well, effectively, game decided right here.
I like Strefan's guess more. I had an eastern vibe with those trees.
2 seconds. Sp4ghet not too sure. Zooming in, zooming out. Do you commit to it? He does commit in the end, and it's gonna be Strefan closer. GG's in the chat. Strefan claims 13,000 damage done to bring it home 2-1.
What a relief for Strefan. I mean, Sp4ghet really didn't make it easy for him, striking back on the second round in a no-move game.
Yeah.
Starting off strong in the NPC round as well. But yeah,